Hey guys, Nick here with Nick's Collectables. Today I have for you Roadblock from the Cobra Island line. This is not supposed to be out yet. This is not supposed to come out till August 14th. However, my Target went ahead and put them on the shelf early. So I have it here in my grubby little hands. And I'm super excited to be able to get a hold of this one and actually get it in a timely manner this time. Who knew, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to break this guy out. We're going to compare him to the original Roadblock, which I actually have on my shelf. We're going to see what we like and what we don't like. And basically, we're just going to try to have some fun. So stick with me, guys, and don't forget to like and subscribe. But for right now, come on. Let's go have some fun. So I have to say, just out of the box, this one is way better than the last Roadblock I reviewed. You can see right off that he has the same bicep rotation, and he actually has nab crumb, so we're already ahead of the original one. The overall figure has the same weight to it as the original Roadblock, and the head sculpt is different in that the beard was fairly trimmed before, and now it's filled out, and he actually has an earpiece on his right ear. He also has a do-rag covering the top of his head, and that seam that went across the actual head that I didn't like on the original one is completely gone. He even has some nice seam lines for the do-rag going along the top and a knot on the back. It's a nice small detail that sets the whole thing off really nice. He even comes with a pair of shades that honestly, I really like. They look great. They fit with the overall look of the head sculpt. I'm not for sure if it's particularly well, fits any Roadblock at all that I'm aware of, but it's definitely nice. And I prefer this head sculpt to the other, with or without the glasses. But before we go any further, let's go ahead and check out his head motion. So the side-to-side's good, and the head nut's kind of limited, so it's just like the other figure. That's fair enough. Moving down to his awesome tank top, you can see it's a solid black with a bit of white, almost making it look like an urban camouflage. The look only really broken up by the shooting star that's indicative of this line, which half reminds me of the G.I. Joe and half reminds me of these old The More You Know public service commercials that used to come on every time the show came on. I really like this look for the figure, and it fixes one of my biggest complaints about the original, is that the flat jacket he wore kept him from being able to do any kind of ab crunch, even though it felt like the figure was molded to have one. He can also twist better at the hip than the previous figure. Man, we're off to a good start here, guys. I'm stoked. Let's keep going. Rotating him around, you can see they even put a tattoo on his arm. It's the same as the other figure, but I still like it. I'm not sure if it feels very Roadblock, but it's looking all the same. It's the same opinion I'd had of it before. The back of the figure's pretty nice looking. It's nice, it's simple and clean, and it has that same peg-in on the back that all of them have had. But at least this one looks usable, unlike Scarlet's. The only thing I don't like here is there's this big gap in the camo that doesn't really make a lot of sense, but again, that's a pretty minor complaint. They also did good molding on his arms. You can really see the muscles standing out on his biceps, triceps, and forearms, giving him that really ripped look that he's known for. This shows off so much better on this figure than the previous one. Due to the tank top being molded, it just makes him look bulkier, which I love. Just take a minute to look at how nicely detailed the arms are, even the veins in his forearms. It really does look nice and muscular. What I find odd, though, is as I sit here looking at it, I swear they added more lines to the arm mold. Maybe I'm crazy, but I swear his shoulders look more ripped than the original figure. While we're here, his arms actually have really good movement. They go out to about 90 degrees, they do a full 360, and his wrists rotate, making it easier for him to grip this monster gun that they shipped him with. Moving down to his legs, he has what looks like some pretty standard cargo pants with tons and tons of pockets. They're basically the same as the original figures with a few exceptions, one being this grenade pouch on his right leg. It looks like it holds 3 grenades, and it pretty much looks like if you wanted to, you could actually slip it off his legs, though for the life of me, I have no idea why you'd want to do that. It looks great right where it is, and that's exactly where I intend on leaving mine. You can also see that they made his knee pad a solid black along with his boots. I like this change. It fits with the overall color scheme and comes off as a little less gaudy than the original figure. Speaking of his legs, let's go ahead and take a look at his flexibility. He can swing his leg out to about 90 degrees to the side and forward. However, he doesn't have much motion to the back. Now, one of the things he can do is he can bend past 90 at the knee and has some side-to-side motion on the foot, but no real front-to-back at all. However, it does leave him capable of doing almost any pose you would want out of the figure, which is good. I'm really glad this one went more the old school camo tank top look. It does a lot to make the figure look bigger and adds a ton to his flexibility. Again, they're going back to some of his old looks and modernizing them again, which is smart. It gives us some familiar ground and yet shows us something new, which I think is important for toy lines to do. However, I still have this issue with his gun. It's better than his original because it's a more normal color, but something just bugs me. I think it's this bit on the end. It doesn't make any sense. It didn't make sense on the original gun, and it doesn't make any more sense in this color. It seems to serve no purpose, and if anything it looks more out of place on this version of the gun than it did on the original. At least on the original one, it brought you some nice transparent plastic that made it look futuristic. Here it just looks, I don't know, odd. However, I do prefer the gun in black to the original silver, and I like that they put broiler on the side of it. It's a nice personal touch. It seems like something Roadblock would do, naming his gun and all. I just wish the gun again looked more like a military gun. Scarlet's weapons look more normal, and so do Duke's. So it seems a really odd decision to make this look like some sort of half-baked laser cannon. And yes, I know they shot lasers in the show, but the weapons were always military fare, and again, this doesn't look like that. In the end, I really like this guy. It fixes most of my major issues with the original and just looks great. I wish he had more mobility back with his legs, and I wish the hands on the entire line had some joints. I feel like I really had to bend the plastic in order to get them to hold their weapons, and it's an issue I've noticed, well, with all the figures. It's not a new complaint, and I just wish they did it. I'm starting to sound like a broken record, but it's something I wish they had done. I don't like how he looks next to Scarlet nearly as well as I do the original, however, but then I don't really think he was meant to fit in with this line. I think he was meant to fit in more with the Cobra Island line than the main line. Honestly, I'm finding this part of the line confusing. It seems almost like we have two totally different classified lines going on right now. One that's exclusive to Target, and from what little sampling I've seen, is a bit more in keeping with the G.I. Joe and line itself, and then there's the main line that's mixing a bit of futuristic styling while taking heavy cues from figures of the past. Those of you who got this far, I promise I'm going to do something that's not G.I. Joe this week as well. I won't be doing another Roadblock soon. I just really wanted to get this one out and get one of these done at the time where the figure was about to release. So that pretty much wraps this one up. What do you guys think? Is he worth the money? Do you like this line? Is it a pass for you? Give me a shout out in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe before you go, and I will see you guys next time.